Genetics is a super popular item today in the health space these days. And I believe that it rightly so, because understanding genetic tendencies can help inform your best choices when it comes to diet, nutrition overall, and lifestyle habits. And these things that support healthy metabolism are super important for you to understand and to understand what your genes might be pointing you to if you're not careful about your choices. So, my question for you is, can metabolism and metabolic health be affected by genetics? Are there strategies that you can employ that support healthy metabolism in spite of your genetics? On today's video, I'm going to talk to you about how to manage low energy, stubborn extra pounds that won't go away, or brain fog that interferes with productivity. And we're going to explore strategies for understanding the genetics that are involved, the genetics that influence metabolism, and what you can do to restore balance in yourself or in your clients. So I'm Dr. Rita Marie, and I am here on a mission to empower individuals and health practitioners to get rid of the disease management focus that we're all into in today's healthcare society and empower millions of people to go from diseased, dysfunctioning, to living their best life possible. I'm passionate about supporting health practitioners and people alike to restore metabolic health because I've seen the damage that poor metabolic health can cause. I've seen the damage in my patients. I've seen the damage in my family members. It can cause damage to almost every condition that's known to mankind, from heart disease to cancer to Alzheimer's and so much more. And I don't want to see people suffer anymore. So I'm here to help support you on that path. So let's get started. So when I say the word metabolism, what do you think about? Do you think of, oh, yeah, I have a slow metabolism, so it causes me to gain weight more easily than people who I see that have a healthier metabolism? Do you think about being tired because your metabolism's slow? Do you think about thyroid when you think about metabolism? A lot of people do. And a lot of people, quite frankly, have problems with their thyroid. And that affects metabolism big time. But here's the deal. 92% of the population, according to a 2022 study, are found to be metabolically ill, metabolically unwell, out of balance in their metabolism. And it's kind of a question that I might ask is, are you one of them? Are you in the 92%? Or are you in the 8%? 8% of the population, said differently, is metabolically healthy. 8% of the population has a metabolism that's functioning optimally. And I see that that's going down and down and down. Because when they published this study back in 2018, it was at 88%. So 12% of the population was metabolically well, now only 8%. And it seems to be going down. So if you're dealing with that extra weight around the middle, if you're dealing with low energy, if you're dealing with brain fog, can't remember where you put your keys, can't remember someone's name, that could be related to your metabolism, and there could be a genetic underpinning. So listen up. So what do genes have to do with it? Well, they have a lot to do with it, but they don't have everything to do with it. They inform you of what lifestyle choices, what diet, what supplements, nutrients you might need, herbs, foods, etc., that you might need to optimize your diet, to optimize your metabolic health, I might say. They inform. So they let you know, here's the way I like to say it, they let you know how much you can get away with. If I knew that I had George Burns's genes, I could get away with a whole lot more, but I know that I have my parents' genes. And I know that my mom died suddenly of a heart attack at 56, wasn't obese, hadn't been diagnosed with any diseases. She just died suddenly. And that happens to over 50% of the people who have heart disease. Their first symptom is they die suddenly. And actually, I've heard statistics say 65% of women. So 50% of the males, 65% of women. Same thing happened to my dad 2 years later at age 62, just suddenly. Now, they both had lifestyle habits that contributed. Granted, they both smoked. My mom drank a little bit too much. They both ate what I would not consider healthy food, but they didn't get away with it. George Burns smoked. He drank. He probably ate worse than they did because he had a whole lot more money to spend on food. However, he made it to 100 with all those habits. So what's the difference? The difference is the state of the metabolism. And like I said, the genes that tell you how much you can get away with. So there's some genes that control detoxification. There's CYP, cytochrome P450 genes. And when you have some of these out of balance, you're not going to be able to detoxify the chemicals in the environment, the chemicals in the food, the chemicals in the water. And you're going to suffer more than somebody who has intact genes there. Like they have probably good metabolic processes unless they stress them to the max, you know? So what else? What else do the genes have to do with? So I like to look at my genes and knowing my family history and seeing that there were no old people in my family, I wanted to take a look. And as soon as I could get my genes tested, I did back in 2013 or 14. Here's the thing. I have a lot of genes that predispose me to being metabolically unwell. I have a lot of genes that predispose me to having poor detoxification. I have a lot of genes that predispose me to not having good nutrient status. I have a lot of genes that predispose me to digestive problems. But here's the deal. I decided back, when I was probably almost 30, that even though I couldn't test my genes back then, that was 86, I decided that I probably had bad genes because we couldn't find any old people in my family. Like they died of heart attacks, they had cancer, they had diabetes. And I thought, maybe I should just be careful. Maybe I should just assume I have really bad genes and learn and educate myself about what I needed to do to really optimize my function in spite of my genes. So that's what I did. Back in the late 80s, early 90s, I completely turned my diet and lifestyle around. One reason was I was sick at the time and nobody could help me with conventional medical approaches. But the other is I wanted to have longevity. I did not want to die at age 56 and leave my kids alone, leave my partner alone, and leave everybody who loved me alone. Fortunately, I've made it way past that. I want you to have the same. So there's some ways that you can look at your genes. And so when I looked at my genes, there are a bunch that I had that were out of balance. And I recently discovered this new site called Genetic Life Hacks. And I plugged in my 23andMe data and I got some really nice reports. And when I started looking at it, well, they highlight, it's hard to see and show it on here, but they highlight the genes that are out of balance. So they're yellow if they're, you got one bad, I hate to call them bad genes, one gene that is suboptimal functioning from a mom or dad and a good one from the other, or red, they have them in orange because it's a highlight if you have two of them, like one from each parent. And all of these genes that are protective against disease, I don't have them, right? That increase the risk of impaired glucose metabolism, I have them. So there's a bunch of genes, and one of the ones that's a problem is IGF-1, and that's insulin-like growth factor 1, which affects insulin sensitivity at the cellular level. I have a problem with that. I have a gene that says if I eat caffeine, potentially, doesn't mean these genes are expressing, but potentially, if I have caffeine with sugar, it's going to cause excessive glucose spikes and maybe lead to anxiety. I also have some genes that predispose me to anxiety. So I think back about at the time when I was living a fast lifestyle in my 20s, working for a high-tech company, and living on caffeine and sugar. I mean, I literally had caffeine and sugar all day long. The donut and the black tea in the morning, the Diet Coke all day long, and things that are sugar-like breads and crackers and pasta and all that. I was literally killing myself back then because I have these genes that say, yeah, you're gonna express these genes and not have good function. Whereas if I had better genes, I probably could have got away with some of it. So there's a bunch of genes. I really like this. There's the one about genes and caffeine. Um, and there's a whole bunch more. I mean, it's a long report, so I'm not going to be able to go through all of this. I will say that if you're really interested in this topic, we're going to go through this in a lot more depth in my upcoming workshop. It's called Your Genes, Your Diet, and Your Metabolism. And it's happening July 22nd, 23rd online. So you don't even have to travel to get there. So we'll put the link in the comments and go from there. There's also a link to a free webinar series I've been doing. I've done 2 of them already, and the third one is on the 8th of July. And it's all about your genes and your lifestyle and the factors other than food that you can use to promote healthy gene expression. Last week we did one on diet. The upcoming one is going to be on overall, like, other lifestyle factors. Highly recommend you watch this stuff. Free information, great information. And I'll put the link in the comments, or my team, somebody in my team will put the link in the comments so that you can go there and sign up. When you sign up for the one that's coming up, and that's the last in the 3-part series, you'll get access to the whole series. And you can watch them. You can binge watch them if you want on the weekend. I really highly encourage you to educate yourself about how your genes and how your diet affect your metabolism, because I see too many people struggling with that extra weight that won't go away, like slaving at the gym and trying to starve themselves, but actually they're out of balance because they have a genetic predisposition. And like me, that early diet and the day-to-day diet is not good enough. It's not health promoting. So at our event in July, well, it's already July, it's the end of July, we're going to explore your genes, your diet, and your metabolism. We're going to take you through some lab testing, some genetic testing, show you how you can find the good personalized diet for you that's going to help you optimize that metabolism. So I encourage you to educate yourself. I encourage you to be an empowered person. If you're a health practitioner, I encourage you to learn this stuff so that you can help your clients and your patients better. You didn't learn this in medical school. If you went to medical school, most of my friends and attendees in our webinars and also in our practitioner training certifications tell me they didn't learn this in naturopathic school either. They didn't learn this in chiropractic school. You didn't learn this in health coaching school. So if you're a practitioner or you're a consumer, this is good stuff to learn about, because here's the deal. If you're a practitioner, people are going to keep asking you, oh, can you help me read my genes? And you're like, oh, I don't know how to do that. I have no idea. You can learn how to do this. It's very not easy to learn, but it's practical and it's available. And we'd love to support you in that. So what do your genes have to do with your metabolism? They inform the choices. They inform what you can get away with. They inform whether or not you're going to be able to get away with eating gluten or breads of any kind, whether you can even eat a lot of fruit. There are a lot of people out there saying eat a fruit diet, high fruit diet, it'll cure your diabetes. And for some people it might. For other people like me, it'll just make us worse, right? I don't have diabetes. I'm working to avoid having diabetes, because diabetes is an ugly disease. It ends in blindness, amputation, and dialysis. Bad, 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 right? Blindness, amputation, and dialysis. Not good. Those are the long-term side effects. And guess what? If you are not minding your metabolism, if you're not doing things to help your body to handle sugars in food, to create fuel that maybe is an alternative fuel source like ketones or fats, if you're not watching what you're eating, if you're not watching your nutrients, you're going to have problems that could lead to diabetes. You might be already on your path. So what I want to leave you with is this. Most diseases are reversible. Don't wait till you have a disease, though. Let's look at the prevention stage. Let's look at the halting the progression stage. Because once you get to the disease state, it takes a lot of work to reverse it. Medicine doesn't have the tools to do that. There's great tools for helping you with symptoms. There's great tools for temporarily reducing pain. There's great tools for keeping you alive if you have a heart attack. But don't you want to prevent yourself from even going there? Don't you want to prevent yourself from getting to the point of on the path to blindness, amputation, and dialysis? So I encourage you to take charge. We call it Empowered Self-Care. We even have a membership called the Empowered Self-Care Lab, where I teach you. I and my trained coaches and other nutritionists and doctors train you in how to take charge of your health, how to figure out for you what's the best diet, the best lifestyle, the best exercise program to do. And don't just fall prey to all the Facebook ads and all the different people that are giving you different advice that's not necessarily based on science. So thank you for being here. I encourage you to take charge of your health today. And until we meet again on our next video, be unstoppable. And if you want to learn more about metabolic health, about diet and nutrition, and practitioner trainings, click on the links and you can check out some of our other videos. Thank you.